Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we do a daily crossword puzzle. Today we've got the Saturday Stumper. I've struggled mightily with the Saturday Stumper in the past. I think only once, maybe twice, have I been able to solve it on the channel with no hints. Let's see how it goes today. I'm feeling good. I got a good night's sleep last night. I had a protein breakfast. I worked out this morning. So maybe I'll be sharp enough to finish this with no hints. Let's find out. No theme for the Stumper, but it typically involves a lot of ambiguous clues that have a lot of different readings, so we have to figure out what's going on. The constructor today is Rafael Musa. There are a variety of constructors for the Stumper. Stanley Newman always edits the puzzle, and it is his editing, I think, that gives it such a difficult flavor. Okay, one across is mainstream quality. Don't know. One down is cricket, predator. What eats crickets? We used to have an Australian bearded dragon that ate crickets. Is it a lizard, maybe? Two down, garb from the Greenlandic. An article of clothing that originated in Greenland, maybe a parka. Parkas might fit. Garb could be plural. Three down, specimen, for example. Nope, four down is power plant product. So thinking of different readings here, maybe a plant product, some kind of leaf or herb or something that gives you power. Maybe spinach, like Popeye, but that doesn't fit. Five down, woman in Arabian Nights. This is probably one of these hidden clues. Within the phrase Arabian Nights, we have Anne, a woman's name. Usually takes me a while to spot those, but I think that's what's going on there. Six down, unlikely to be sunny. Nope. Seven down, Shakespeare contemporary. Who was it that they thought wrote some of Shakespeare's plays? Christopher Marlowe or Bacon. So Francis Bacon, I think, is often thought of as a writer of some of Shakespeare's plays. Eight down, current concerns. Nope. Nine down, a little help. Nine down, yeah, a little help. I would think of a short word for help, like aid. Help is only four letters. Nautical shelter. If a ship is sheltered from the winds, it is a lee. It is in a lee area. Okay, so mainstream quality. No, 14 across, request for more. Can I have some more? No. 16 across, straight up. With a hyphen. Don't know what that means. 18 across, Mustangs cruising. Mustangs cruising. Mustang could be a car. Mustang could be a horse. 21 across, residential add-on. Nope. And 25 across, overview provider. Nope, none of those are clicking. What about here? 19 across is mini opening. Could be a prefix that comes before mini. It could mean a small opening like a slot or a nook. Could that be an opening? A little help. 22 across, word from the Latin for bond. I think it would be something like ligare, to tie. Bond, no. 25 across is overview provider. 29 across, where shooting stars are seen in the sky, maybe. 22 down, Hawaii, essentially. Essentially. It is an island, essentially. 26 down, steep strain serve product. Some kind of tea, I would imagine. Okay, didn't get much there in that corner. Let's try up here. 11 across is small flat portion. Again, could be a portion of an apartment, a flat portion that is small. I'm thinking lavatory. Flat gives us the sense that we might be looking for UK English. So we could do loo or lav as a small portion of your apartment, the bathroom. 15 across, brief period. Maybe a sec, an abbreviated way to say second, a period of time. 17 across, force in. To cram in, what's 13 down? Recipe reduction. I like TSP for teaspoon for that. What's 12 down? It borders Georgia. This is probably Georgia, the country in the Caucasus. So Armenia borders Georgia. Brief period is an era. Is an era a brief period? Recipe reduction. Force in. Maybe tamp in. Small flat portion. 17 across, force in. 20 across is Mustang's predecessor. Yeah, I thought I had 2 Mustang clues. We've got Mustang's cruising and then Mustang's predecessor. What would be the predecessor for a Mustang? Mustang can also be a sailor who begins his or her career as an enlisted sailor and then becomes an officer. But none of those, so horse or car or sailor or officer don't seem to fit. 23 across, showing deep consideration. Would it end in an NT? 24 down, Rose's cousin. The cousin of a rose. Dressing option, 29 across, is where shooting stars are seen. And 31 across, have an impressive impact. Maybe stun or slam. Rose's cousin. This is another kind of flower for Rose's cousin. Or is it a person named Rose on stage and screen, like A.B.'s Irish Rose? Our future babies will take to A.B.'s Irish Rose. I hope they live to see it close. 20 down is Tucson or Taos or Santa Fe. I think these are all kinds of car. Maybe SUV? Or maybe are they all made by GMC maybe? Mustang's predecessor. This could be an S or a G. Showing deep consideration. Nope, 28 down is Island Chains. Keys, maybe like the Florida Keys. Off the Florida Keys, there's a place called Kokomo. Would this be where shooting stars are seen? Maybe in heaven? Or the heavens? I'm thinking heaven might be ending here. 33 across begins with a Y. Would you like a job in my cabinet speaker in Barbie? Probably the Barbie film. And I didn't see that film, but I know from another crossword puzzle that the president was played by Issa Rae. So maybe island chains are leis, flower chains that you might get in the islands. I'm pretty confident about that. Okay, dressing option. Olive oil, could be a salad dressing. Rose's cousin. And have an impressive impact. 20 down. Let's try SUV. That V gives me a little confidence about that. Mustang's predecessor. Shoe? A shoe goes on a horse. It's not the predecessor of a horse. Showing deep consideration. Caring, maybe. No. 23 down. Satisfies. No. What about 34 down? Strings on a Spanish guitar. Why is it a Spanish guitar? Guitarra. Oh, guitars would have like A strings, B strings, G strings. In Spanish, they use sol for do, re, mi, fa, sol. They use those, the solfege names rather than letter names for the scale. So sols, a Spanish guitar would have a sol string on it. Let's try that. There's a Spanish song that had a really clever title. It was Quiero cantar de nuevo en sol mayor. I want to sing again in F major, but sol mayor, F major, also means greater sun. So I want to sing in the sun again. It's a nice title there. 43 across, sol successor. We've got predecessors and successors going on here. Don't know what it is. 38 across. They're not supposed to pop up. They're supposed to pop up. They're supposed to pop up. Pop-up ads. No. 17 down. Hitchhiker's Guide plot device. Douglas Adams wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as a radio series and a series of novels, and later a film and a TV series too. I really liked the books. Plot device. He had a lot, like a Babel fish and the. I don't know. 23 down, satisfies. No, let's try over here. 35 across, ran out as resin. Resin like oozes from a tree. Ran out. Or if you ran out of resin, you were shellacking something and you ran out of resin, what would it be? I don't know. 41 across, so not concise. Some exaggerated word for wordy. 46 across, introductory explanation. A preface or something like that. 35 down, sound from a shaker. No, 36 down, broke up. 37 down is symbolic representations. It's usually a while before I can get a good section of the Saturday Stumper filled in. So this isn't really surprising. 42 down, back down. I've seen some cryptic crossword type clues sneak in here. Maybe down has to do with this being a down clue. Not sure. 50 across is exultation. No, what about 53 across? Close call comment. You might say few after a close call. Does that fit? 53 down, motivation. Pep, maybe. Let's play around with this and see if it works. Borderline. The end of something is the border, I guess. Driving stat. 3 miles per hour, or something to do with golf, like par, would begin with P, and that is a statistic, a number you're aiming for on a golf course. Broke up. Well, that doesn't look right. An HNA ending. 37 down, symbolic representations. Probably ends in an S. Driving stat. And broke up. 50 across, exultation. 35 down, sound from a shaker. 36 down, broke up, symbolic representation. 26 down is steep strain serve product, maybe some kind of brew. Cold brew, is that a product? I guess you would steep it, strain it, and serve it. After all, last is after all the others have crossed the finish line. 35 across, ran out as resin. Okay, I like a D ending. Seeped, oozed. All the words I can think of have more than 4 letters. So not concise. And 46 across, introductory explanation. Intro doesn't fit, and it's also a word in the clue. Exultation, glee. 42 down, back down. Symbolic representation. And broke up. 6 down is unlikely to be sunny. 30 down is Theatre Royal Windsor, neighbor. I wouldn't know that. Okay, we've got some things in the puzzle, but I don't know that any of them are right. 47 across, where Carver taught before Tuskegee. I'm guessing that's George Washington Carver. Where would he have taught? What's another name of a college that ends in an S? Mississippi, Miss. 51 across, reporter. To take among the earliest flash photos in the 1880s. Matthew Brady was an early photographer. That doesn't fit. Would be a 4-letter photographer. Reporter. Somebody like Nellie Bly or don't know. 54 down is what might say property of mommy. All right, I've seen clues like that for onesies or maybe a baby's bib. What's something that a baby would wear that has 3 letters? Bib might fit. 51 down, learned and automatic. You would do it by rote. I like that. 39 down, not behind. In front. Does that give us anything to work with for the acrosses, I wonder? 48 down, spider competitor. And 23 down, satisfies. Okay, 47 across, where Carver taught before Tuskegee. Reporter. I like this. I think wrote is correct. I don't know that in front is correct. 54 across, child's catchphrase. 57 across, sorry, we're closed. Maybe it's something. And 59 across, having caught bugs. I'll take out in front. Not behind. Winning might fit. Sorry, we're closed. I think it's... Does this mean if you caught bugs, you might be sick? Like bedridden? Something like that. Something that means you have caught a bug, you're sick. Spider competitor. Is this an animal, a creature that competes with spiders for food? Maybe. What else does spider mean? 55 down is antagonist to Longfellow. Longfellow's a poet. I think maybe we're just looking for a poetic word for antagonist, like foe. 52 down, comes together, weds or joins, something with an S. Strong blast for 52 across. 40 down is hoot. 44 down is not remotely. And 45 down, what African violets often are. I bought you violets for your furs, and there was blue in the wintry sky. You pinned my violets to your furs and gave a lift to the crowd passing by. Gale could be a strong blast of wind, and then we could put in gels for come together. I like those pairing there, that pairing there. Child's catchphrase. Oh, could this be Julia Child's catchphrase? Her catchphrase might be bon appetit. Yeah. So then, what? Maybe Edgar Allan Poe was an antagonist to Longfellow. I don't know that. I like gels and Gale. I like bon appetit. So then, 39 down would be not behind. Spider competitor. 23 down, satisfies. Hits the spot. 23 across would be showing deep consideration. Humane, maybe. Would an elm be the cousin of a rose? A tree and a flower? Or maybe elf? Or elk? I don't know. I can see elm and rose. They're both vegetation, so maybe that they're cousins there. Home page for plot device? No, I don't think so. 43 across, sole successor. I like this H. I'm sure about Isa. Not so sure about souls. That's kind of obscure. But this is the Saturday Stumper. Kia, the car maker, makes a soul. Is there some other car that would fit here? Is there a reporter named Ross? It's too late. Sorry, we're closed. It's too late for me to serve you now. Having caught bugs. Is it been tested? I'm thinking maybe Edgar Allan Poe and Longfellow didn't get along or something. Beta tested. This product has been beta tested. We have caught the bugs in it. Okay, yes, I like that. Miata is a kind of car. Spider could be a sports car, I think. I feel like Jacob Rees. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's Dutch, I think. Who was like a muckraker journalist in New York, exposing corruption and the mistreatment of the poor. I think maybe that's what that is. Not behind. Is it amongst? Beta tested, I like. It's too late. Makes a lot of sense. Hoot. Rat-a-tat. I've heard rat-a-tat used to mean like a rollicking good time. It was a real hoot. It was a real rat-a-tat party. Maybe. Kind of, maybe like 50 years ago, you might hear that. Not remotely. So maybe live or in person, something like that. 49 across, whom MoMA commissioned to create Peace is Power. 2010s. Don't know. 45 down. What African violets often are. Are they potted? Oh, what about gust for a strong blast? African violets, I think, are usually potted plants. So on site, you're not doing it remotely, you're doing it on site for 44 down. That makes sense. Let's try Yoko Ono, who might be, as an artist, who might create a piece called Peace is Power. Hoot, to shout at. Give me a hoot. Okay, give me a holla. Then maybe this is hip hop, a musical genre that came after soul music. Yes. Okay, so then strings on a Spanish guitar. Skis? Oh, a Spanish guitar might have 6 strings as opposed to a 4-string guitar. So seis is the Spanish word for 6. Okay, that makes sense. That's not as quite obscure as that sol and F equivalents I was thinking of. They're supposed to pop up. Some kind of blisters, maybe? Blisters are supposed to pop up? I'm not sure. Not behind. No. Plot device. Hitchhiker's Guide. Plot device. Why is there an ellipse there? Because we're abbreviating the title, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That may be what the 3 dots represent. And that concept of shortening a title as a plot device could be something. Maybe there's a word for that. Huh. Let me look at these again, make sure these look right. What would 47 across be? There's probably an Ames College in Iowa. In, not behind. I'm not sure about that. Blisters could be wrong. 30 down, Theatre Royal Windsor. Neighbor. Looking for the name of another theatre in London, or maybe Windsor, Ontario. 31 across, that's the have an impressive impact. Kind of like elm. Slam could be to have an impressive impact, to slam down on a surface. 11 down is ancient autocrat. I don't like that AOL ending. Mustang's predecessor. Force in. I like tamp. Recipe reduction. Let's try tablespoon or a teaspoon for recipe reduction. That would be a common abbreviation in a recipe. A mat is a small flat surface, like a welcome mat, maybe. Brief period. Hours could be abbreviated as HRS, okay. None of these make sense. I'll have to come back to that. Let me think about that. Let's try back up here at the top. Mainstream quality. Request for more. Certainly going to try and keep this video under an hour today. So we're only 30 minutes in. I'll keep going for a while before I start thinking about using hints. Straight up. Straight up. No. Mustangs. Cruising. Is that the cruising speed of a Mustang car? No. Residential add-on. Is this an add-on to a residence, like an L? Is an architectural L-shaped extension to a building? What provides an overview? A high point, a tower, something like that. And 29 across is where shooting stars are seen. Where shooting stars are seen. Stars who shoot movies, or stars who are good at archery or marksmanship. A movie set is where shooting stars are seen. Yeah, okay. Thinking about the various meanings of shooting stars there got me there. Hawaii, I get it's a volcanic island, so essentially the surface of it is lava. Yeah, this might be Ling or Long or something like that. Overview provider. And unlikely to be sunny. Current concerns for 8 down. Okay, let's look at these again. Mainstream quality. Request for more. Is this something like an encore or a standing ovation, applause might fit here? I think Anne is right, though. This thing's cruising. And overview provider. Some kind of car or cat. Or like an abstract or a précis. Provides an overview of an article or book. Cricket predator. Thinking lizard for cricket predator, but I don't know what else eats crickets. I think this is parkas or anoraks. You know, or, yeah. A sky car? Is that like one of those, not a funicular, but a, you know, a tram, an aerial tramway? Could be called a sky car, I guess. Specimen, for example, is that some kind of something nym, like an antonym or homonym? I don't think specimen is a homonym of anything. Residential add-on, nope. Mustang's cruising. Straight up. Initial add-on. Okay. This has got to be a vowel here for 20 and 22 across. Link. Could that come from the Latin for bond? Two things are linked together. They are bound together. Unlikely to be sunny. What's 30 down? Oh, that's... Could Eton, the school, be maybe next to the theater? Royal Windsor. Are boosters supposed to pop up? What is something that is supposed to pop up and unlikely to be sunny? In sunny disposition, sunny mood, like posters, toasters are supposed to pop up. Yes, okay. If you're not behind a proposal, you are against it. Yeah, and Jacob Riss is spelled with an II. Yeah, that's right. It looks right now that I see it like that. Okay, now, So not concise. I think it probably ends in ing. So this could be something istic with a C. Babbling fits. Back down. Is it lie? Introductory explanation. A rubric? Is that an introductory explanation? I think more like the explanation of a scoring rubric for like an exam or an essay or something. I guess lie is to put your back down on the bed. Okay, I guess that fits. So then, symbolic representations. No. Broke up. Let's take out end and pep. In fact, let's take out. Well, I don't know that cold brew is right. This would be a vowel. Nothing really makes sense. Broke up. And sound from a shaker. What else would, well, let's take all of these. Glee for exultation, yeah. Cold brew, steep strain serve. So not concise. I liked babbling for that. Sound from a shaker. Nope. Oh, close. Mustang's predecessor. Is it like a small horse, like a colt or I can't think of an ancient autocrat that fits here. And this is something I'll probably recognize once I get it. All right, for 37 minutes, I guess it's about time to start thinking about hints. Olive oil seems to make a lot of sense for a dressing option. Hits the spot. That would give us SUV, and that gives us humane. Is it a Mongol or something like that? All right, let's find out this ancient autocrat. You'd think this would make sense. Is it like Shah Jehangol or something? Let's reveal this word. Pharaoh. Okay, I had slam. Have an impressive impact. Sham. Is elm right? I don't think of sham as having an impressive impact, unless it's because it's fake and it's an impression of something. I don't know about that. A small flat portion, okay, like a pat of butter, yeah, okay, I'll allow that. Brief period, hours, I like that. Force in, tamp, or something else. Oh, and I don't know that this S is right, do I? Time warp. Mustang's predecessor, sire? Okay, a Mustang is a horse, so the forefather, the ancestor of the horse would be that horse's sire and dam. Okay, time warp, maybe for Hitchhiker's Guide. Let's do the time warp again. And we can put in wham for impressive impact. Yes, elm. Okay, that does make sense. I needed to know that slam was wrong and that mat was wrong. That was what was messing me up there. Okay, that section is done. We needed one hint for that. I'm not crazy about link for the Latin for bond. Current concerns. Yeah. Like currents in a river. Unlikely to be sunny. Mainstream quality. Request for more. Straight up. Mustang's cruising. So if we're going back to Mustang as horse, if a horse is cruising, is it trotting? Cruising speed, so maybe. It's a pace that a horse might have, and kind of like the equivalent of a cruising speed of a bicycle or something. I feel like this is going to be an onym. Residential add-on. Running through the alphabet, would you add a fan to a residence? Or you would put IAN as a suffix on someone to show that they're a resident of a certain place, like Cincinnatian or something like that. Okay, I think that's what that is. Maybe praying mantis eats crickets. Yeah, that makes sense. Mainstream quality. Does it end in itty? Nautical shelter. Kind of like Lee for that. Specimen is a what? An antonym? Well, anything's an antonym. It's the opposite of something else. Straight up, it would be not in, or not on a cant. Maybe it's not canting, it is straight. Request for more. We're down as power plant product. Soot is something produced by power plants, maybe? Could this be and one more and mainstream quality? Not crazy about that. A little help is a hand. Give me a hand. Mini opening. Link makes sense. Current concerns. Let's look up. Let me see if specimen is an antonym. It's a synonym. Oh, specimen is a synonym for example, and I've seen clues like that before. Specimen and example are synonyms. So specimen is a synonym for example. Yes. Mass appeal for mainstream quality. Lee for nautical shelter. Request for more. Anyone else? A little help. And straight up. Non. Current concerns. Something with electricity? A little help. Assistant could be abbreviated ASSST, so little could be meaning abbreviation. Pessimistic for unlikely to be sunny. Sky Cam gives us an overview provider like in a stadium, okay? Lean, like a lien on a house, comes from lien, the French through Latin through French for a bond, a tie. Shakespeare contemporary. Straight up, no nonsense. Yeah, you speak straight up, direct. Okay, I'm going to try assistant as a little help. This could be Peel. El Niños are concerns about ocean currents. Yes, okay, mini opening and maybe a slit, and then peel. Okay, so I had to reveal synonym, and I had to reveal pharaoh. Both words I know. Synonym for example, or specimen for example, should have gotten that. I've seen that clue before. Not with those words, but with those kinds of words. Okay, so now we've just got this corner, and I'm sure I'm going to have to reveal something else down here as well. Sound from a shaker. Let's just take out everything. We know pessimistic and eaten and against are all right. Back down. I don't know that lie is correct there. Cold brew seems to make sense, but I don't know. Let's think of anything else these could be. Okay, 35 across is ran out as resin. So not concise. Yeah, like something like babbling, like running off at the mouth. Introductory explanation. Rubric made sense for that. What else could it be? Exultation, joy. Nope. Close call. Comment. Motivation is your reason for doing something. And driving stat. Let's just try miles per hour here and see if maybe that works with better. So your motivation could be your goal, your aim. Okay, I like that. Borderline. And close call. Comment. Broke up. And symbolic representations with an H ending. Could this be miles per gallon? All right, I think I'm going to have to reveal something here. Introductory explanation. I feel like that's rubric. Broke up. This is the one I just can't seem to get. So let's try this. Laughed. Okay, you broke up laughing. You broke out in laughter. You broke up. Okay, so then this, it's not going to be MDG. Driving stat. Let's put few back in. We got that H confirmed for us there. Border line. Is it something you say at the border? Like papers, please? And driving stat. So Glee and rubric fit with that laughed down answer. And that gives me confidence about cold brew. Maybe shaker could be a shiverer, one who is shivering. You might say burr, and then resin might bleed from a tree. It bled, it ran out of the tree. Okay. Rambling, yes, instead of babbling for so not concise. Symbolic representations are emblems. Driving stat and borderline. The hem is a border of a garment. Motivation. Maybe it is whew, W-H-E-W for close call comment. The motivation for why you do something is the why, and your stats for your golf swing might be how many yards you get, or YDS, and I think Y will finish the puzzle. Here we go. So once again, I didn't solve the puzzle. I needed 3 reveals, and they were all for just, none of these are obscure words. I just couldn't figure out. Broke up, I was thinking, I didn't think of break up as laughing, so that was kind of a reading I didn't consider. I was thinking of, you know, you broke up with a partner, with a spouse, something like that, with a boyfriend or girlfriend, or you smashed something to smithereens. Those were the 2 meanings I was thinking of. Didn't consider that 3rd meaning. Up here, I thought it was going to end in onym, but I just didn't consider the for example, the reading of for example. That example and specimen are words that can be switched for each other. And over here, I think I would have gotten pharaoh, except I didn't have this letter. I had this letter, but I had an M up here and an L down here. And there wasn't really a significant time warp. It was more the improbability drive was the plot device in Hitchhiker's Guide, where it just made improbable things happen. All right, well, that was a good one. I didn't consider shaker sound. That probably would have gotten me that corner if I'd thought about that meaning too. Okay, that's the Saturday Stumper. That's how it usually goes for me. Somewhere between 3 and 5 hints to finish the puzzle. I have done it with no hints. I have done it with many, many more than 5 hints sometimes, so you just never know how it's going to go. So maybe I'll have a better breakfast next week and try this again. Let me know how you did with this one and what you thought about some of these clues, if they were fair or not. I think these were all fair. I should have been able to figure out, especially synonym. I should have been able to get that one. Feel silly about that now. Okay, thanks for watching. Please come back for more puzzles and games. I'll see you next time.